Thank you. And now for your starting lineups. Starting for the Fighting Squirrels, at guard, freshman number 1, Ariana Bryant. At forward, senior number 3, Delaney Garner. At guard, sophomore number 14, Gianna Gilmore. At guard, junior number 15.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's broadcasting here for tonight's presentation of Southern Virginia Athletics. Tonight's USA South Women's Basketball Conference matchup is between the Fighting Squirrels of Mary Baldwin and your Knights of Southern Virginia. I'm Dawson Wiedrich, and joining me for tonight's contest is Rock Giles, member of the Southern Virginia University baseball team. Grateful to be calling another game with you, Rock. Should be a good one.
Yeah, I think so, absolutely.
And looking at these two teams matching up here today in Knight Arena, they obviously have matched up before, both USA South Conference opponents. Last time Southern Virginia really got the better of them, winning by a margin of 90-53, and just really doing a great job at attacking from all angles compared to a team in Mary Baldwin who is very limited as far as their depth is concerned.
Yeah, you know, they really only seem to have a few players that can go out there and really dominate. The rest of the team, you know, they do play their role, but I think SVU has the edge when it comes to just individual players that are able to hop on the court and just go out there and score, get rebounds, assists, you know, really just kind of take over the game. So I think SVU definitely has that edge.
They absolutely do. You mentioned some players that Mary Baldwin goes through in order to get pretty much all of their offensive action. Those players include Ariana Brent. You also have Angel Crowder, Aketa Farade, and Cody Heilig. Those 4 players are where they basically get every single one of their points on the floor. And again, outside of that, it's very much, again, you're kind of hard-pressed to find other people that contribute as much as those 4 to that extent. Whereas, again, you look at the roster for Southern Virginia, you have a lot of people that come in at multiple different positions. You know, you have Mariah Savoon at the point. You also have players like Taylor Miyazaki that can come in and play the point, Abby Snyder who can play the point, Casey Okonkwo who can play the point. And you also have players like in the starting 5 for Southern Virginia who play forward and center. You have Allie Weiland, Ruth Kempler, and Asia Foster. So again, they can attack you from all angles. And we'll have Ruth Kempler jumping against number 14, Gianna Gilmore. Kempler wins. They're going to try to advance it to Snyder. A nice takeaway by the Fighting Squirrels to start things off. With the ball now is Ariana Brent. This year she has been Freshman of the Week 3 times, including this past week. Good pump fake there, jump shot, no good. And knocked out of bounds by Gianna Gilmore. And starters for tonight's game, I just want to say this real quick. Ariana Brent, Delaney Gardner, Gianna Gilmore, Angel Crowder, and Aketa Farade. And for Southern Virginia, you see with the ball now, Mariah Savoon, Abigail Snyder, Alyssa Weiland, Ruth Kempler, and Asia Foster.
I think this game's going to be going around more of a defensive route because Mary Baldwin averages about 8 steals per game, and SVU averages about 9 steals per game. And SVU actually has the upper hand when it comes to blocks. They have 4 blocks. That's what they're averaging per game.
And the 3 knocked down by Abby Snyder. And, you know, you talk about being a defensive game. You know, Mary Baldwin needs to come out fast defensively in order to really have a chance in this one because in a lot of the games they have lost this year, which there have been a lot because it's a rebuilding year, they have a lot of young players. They have started off slow and just haven't been able to overcome that gap simply because of the depth in their roster. And a takeaway there for Southern Virginia. Advancing it ahead to Snyder. Gets it inside to Kempler. And we see in the starting lineup for Southern Virginia, they have 3 forwards in the game. The 3 once again by Snyder. Rebounded by Snyder. Snyder another 3. Off the front of the rim again, another offensive rebound for Southern Virginia. Weiland going in strong with the layup, no good. May have been knocked away, but eventually rebounded by number 20. That is Aketa Farade. Mid-range jumper, no good. Rebounded by Kempler. So already we're seeing the Knights not afraid at all to shoot it from the outside. Snyder attempting a 4 3-point attempt. Here's Foster. Nice jump shot there from the free throw line. And, you know, you look at the players on the floor right now, and a foul on the floor, I believe, on Savoon as Brent was trying to go up for a shot. But you look at the starting lineup for the Knights. Again, I mentioned they have 3 forwards in there with good height and good size. And then you look at Mary Baldwin, no player on the floor for them above 5'9". And so you kind of think that they're emphasizing rebounding early, getting second chances, and just pounding it in the paint. First free throw from Brent is up and good.
Yeah, that would be my strategy if I was the coach for SVU. It seems to be the most logical, and I think even if they don't do that and they decide to keep taking an outside shot, they're still going to be able to get the rebound simply because they have that height advantage. And, we've seen SVU, every time we play here, and they're simply just a very athletic team as well.
Kempler with the pump fake. Kicks it across to Snyder. Driving inside, kicks out to Foster. Great ball movement from SVU. Shot clock winding down. Weiland getting it ahead to Kempler. Good quick shot up and in for the Knights. You're also seeing a lot of pump fakes and dribble drives trying to pass it across the paint to the forward that would be on the opposite block, which so far has proved to be provide a couple points so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the key here is just ball movement. That's what SVU is doing, and that's why they're getting points up on the board. They're being able to read the defense and recognize and pass it out, and hit the open player. It's working out well so far.
And that ball was knocked out of bounds, I believe, by Asia Foster after the tough rebound by Gilmore. And tipped away and stolen by Weiland. Great awareness there on the inbound. Passed ahead to Kempler, going up and score. We've seen that a lot this year where they advance it up ahead to Kempler, who gets behind the defense, able to put up a tough layup without being able to use the glass. She was so far underneath. That three is good for Aketa Farate, senior from Tampa, Florida. The Knights working against some full court pressure.
Early in the game, too.
It's kind of like we were talking about before the game, is that Mary Baldwin knows they need to start quick. Savoon for three. No good. Offensive rebound by Foster, put right back in. But like you said, going to the full court pressure very, very early in this one because they realize they're only down by 6. But that is a margin that can continue to grow if they don't do something quick with how Southern Virginia has been playing offense. Nearly taken away by Snyder. And taken away by Kempler after the deflection by Foster.
There's a block.
And take away that time by Brent. Brent going up strong with the layup, no good. Rebounded by Gilmore, that one no good. Rebounded by Snyder. So the Fighting Squirrels had a golden opportunity there to put up some points, not able to do so. Here's a three on the corner. No good, another offensive rebound. Kempler from the free throw line. That one no good, rebounded by Brent. Trying to put up the floater, that one's good.
Wow, that was a great play.
I mean, a floater over Kempler, that's not an easy thing to do. Foster driving in the paint, going up strong, no good. But gets fouled on the shot, she will shoot 2. Foul's called on Farate. Got some substitutions for the Fighting Squirrels, including number 40, Cody Heilig, as well as number 5, Reese Brock. And for Southern Virginia, you have Camila Norton coming in for Allie Weiland. You have Presley Hagee coming in for Abby Snyder. And yet to check in is Taylor Miyazaki. I'd assume she's checking in for Asia Foster. Here's Foster's first free throw of the game. Off the back of the rim, no good.
Both teams shoot actually about 65, 66% from the free throw line, so they're really about the same in terms of free throws.
So no real advantage there in today's contest, at least as of right now. Second free throw for Foster is up and good. And now we'll see Miyazaki come in the game. So the Knights going a little bit smaller of a lineup, keeping Kempler in there in the paint to maintain that presence. I mentioned Heggie being one of the players that takes the floor for the first time tonight. She had missed some time due to injury on her left leg, has been slowly making her way back into the rotation. That shot up and good. The Fighting Squirrels bring it back within 3. High post to Kempler. She takes an extra step after the pump fake. And we got a media timeout here with 4 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And so right now it feels like both teams are somewhat playing in slow motion. Nothing really moving too fast, even though we did have a fast break score for Ruth Kempler and a couple of dribbles down the floor for Ariana Brent. But it just kind of feels like both teams just kind of feeling their way into the flow of the game, and it just kind of feels like they're just, again, just kind of slow so far.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you. I was talking before the game, and I was saying that it was going to be a very defensive game, and it's low scoring, but I don't think that's due to fantastic defense. I think that's a lack of offense on both sides. They're just not able to drive in and score or sit back and hit those threes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So I think later in the game it might pick up, like in the second quarter, third quarter.
Yeah, I imagine both teams getting a little bit of talking to after those first couple of minutes and saying, hey, we got to pick things up. We got to be a little bit more energetic out there. We got to communicate, and of course that's going to be targeted towards talking about defense. And a couple possessions, we've seen the Knights actually apply a zone defense. We don't really see that too often, at least we haven't for the past couple of games. But a little bit of tempting some full court pressure, but pulling back. They have now switched to man. Going up strong that time is Heilig, able to knock it down, brings it within one. And just like we were talking about, the Knights trying to speed things up, advancing up ahead to Kempler, who gets it up and in. Kempler now with 6 points in the game. Heilig for three. Off the right side, no good, brought down by Norton. Trying to feed it inside to Kempler once again, going up against Heilig. Great pass to Heggie for three. That's a little too far, rebounded by Brent. But a great look. The Knights with a 3-point lead. Brent driving in, going up against Taylor Miyazaki that time. They're going to call the foul on Maria Savoon.
When Brent drives in, there's really not much you can do. I think the smart move might be to foul, because when she gets in there, we just saw it with that floater earlier. When she drives in, she scores.
She absolutely does. And some substitutions for Southern Virginia, including Emma Camden from Maria Savoon. And taking the place of Ruth Kempler is number 14, Haley Page. Free throw from Brent is no good. So now the Knights have really transitioned into a smaller, faster lineup, especially inserting Page into the mix. Second free throw is good for Brent. Brings it back within two. Feeding inside to Heggie. Misaki driving in, trying for a floater, and is blocked. Going up against two defenders that time. And tipped by Camden. They're going to call a foul here on Camden. They're going to say that she tripped Brent as she was trying to recover the ball. And that is Camden's first foul of the game. It was fortunate for Mary Baldwin because if that weren't called, Brent would have definitely traveled within another second or two. The three-pointer up, no good. Rebounded by Norton. The Fighting Squirrels are not known for the three-point prowess. Miyazaki for three, that one a little short. Sage put back in bounds by Heggie. Jump ball is called, but it'll go to the Fighting Squirrels.
Yeah, that was a great effort that Presley Heggie was putting on out there, trying to get that rebound. Just wasn't able to get it that time, but intensity like that will carry on. It'll definitely pay off in the end. If they play the whole game like that with that kind of energy, it'll look good.
Absolutely. Heggie is definitely known for that intensity on the defense and rebounding, and that's one of the main things that they've missed from her. Brent for three. Shot is short. Rebounded by Heggie, trying to advance it ahead to Camden. Going against Brent, up with the layup, up strong and in. Nice strong layup from Camden. Heggie was going for the steal. Heilig going against Norton. That one no good. Rebounded by Miyazaki. Miyazaki falls to the floor. No whistle is blown, even though you definitely could have had a case for calling a shove. Norton for three. That one short left. Rebounded by Page, trying to save it. Recovered by Brock. Brock trying to pass it back to far 8. Camden hesitation move. He's going to draw a foul. Foul is on number 15, Angel Crowder, junior from Chesterfield, Virginia. Got some more substitutions now, including Addie Newman for Southern Virginia. And for Mary Baldwin, you have number 14, Gianna Gilmore, coming back onto the floor, as well as number 12, Lanadia Tarpley, junior from Danville, Virginia, making his first appearance on the floor tonight. Screen, and Norton, it was a great setup there, had a double screen for the outside, not able to knock it down. Heggie for three. That one is tipped. The Knights getting a little three happy in this first quarter.
Yeah, and you know what? Mary Baldwin is playing defense. They're playing that perimeter pretty well.
I mean, they had a good setup to Norton at the beginning of that possession, which, again, you take that shot any chance you can. And they're calling offensive foul on Heilig. Great job by Heggie to plant her feet and to take the charge. Under a minute to go in this first quarter, and what has been a slow affair here. Heggie trying to step through, and I'll be a travel. Taking that extra step. The Knights' past couple possessions haven't been making that extra pass that they need when someone's wide open on the outside.
No, you know, and I think that's why we're seeing a lot of blocks, you know, some travels. It's just not coming together like they were doing earlier. But I will say that the energy is picking up, though.
It definitely is. It's just they aren't taking a lot of inside shots. It's almost like they are primarily focused on shooting from the perimeter, which, again, has not necessarily been the Knights' MO. Heilig, no good, rebounded by Page. He's got Norton on the other side. Nearly loses it. Norton mid-range jumper. Off the front of the rim, no good, rebounded by Brent. Brent trying to get to Brock, knocked out of bounds by Haley Page. 6.3 seconds left in the quarter. Inbounded to Brent. Doesn't have much time. Looking for a screen. Trying to put up something, anything, and that is no good, wide left. And so the first quarter will come to a close, the score being 16-12. Again, in what has been a sloppy game so far. Again, it just feels like neither team really able to get into much of a rhythm, and I think in this second quarter you can definitely expect to see the Knights drive to the basket more, try to dribble drive, get it to the opposite side of the paint, because whenever they did that, whenever they drive on one side and pass it across the paint to another post that was on the other block, that was where they had the most success outside of the 1 3-pointer they made in the early goings this one.
Absolutely, you know, and I think they're going to recognize that and probably fix it in the second quarter. But I think that they're kind of seeing, you know, what are we doing? What are we doing? You know, last game we played really well against these guys. What's going on? Score's a lot closer than we want it to be. And I think the second quarter they're going to come out, you know, strong and really trying to get that ball in the key. And I think they're going to take less shots from outside the perimeter, because like you said, you know, they're having a lot of success when they drive in and pass it right next to the big man, right?
Right.
So I think we'll be seeing a lot more of that in the second quarter here.
Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing them come back more into what their identity is as a team. and bring things together. And just want to remind you, you're watching this on Night Broadcasting here on YouTube. Be sure to give us a like, subscribe, comment down below, and let us know how we can improve this viewing presentation of Southern Virginia athletics. We appreciate your support of Night's Broadcasting. So both teams coming out for this second quarter. Southern Virginia reinstating their starters onto the floor. For Mary Baldwin, we do not see Ariana Brent on the floor. She's instead replaced by Lanadia Tarpley. Three-pointer for Savoon, that is good. So the first three of the first quarter, good. First three of the second quarter, good. Now we'll see if they can actually get another one to fall within the quarter, unlike what they were not able to do in the first. But a nice quick start. Again, it's them dribbling in, kicking out to the outside of the open shooter. Gonna call a foul down low on Asia Foster. We saw Heilig kind of tripping and falling backwards. Weren't sure if she had maybe gotten caught up with Asia Foster's feet. But that is Foster's first foul. Nearly taken away by Snyder, taking a huge gamble there. Heilig trying to drive in on Kempler, and Kempler gets the block. There wasn't really much there for Heilig to go with. Weiland trying to go up strong, knocked away by Gianna Gilmore. And they're going to call the foul, actually, on Aketa Faret. We're going to bring Allie Weiland to the free throw line, and we'll see Brent come back onto the floor for the Fighting Squirrels. And the main reason that, we saw Weiland get that foul there is because on that layup, she brought the ball really low. It's made it to where people have to reach across her arms as she goes back up. Second free throw, or first free throw was no good. Second one is.
And she's one of those players where that's kind of her thing. She'll drive in or she'll play the post and, kind of bait the defense into fouling her like you were saying. That she's really good at that.
And just an overall very aggressive player, both offensively and defensively. Not afraid to take it to the paint. A high-arching three-pointer, and rebounded by Heilig, and puts it up and in. You could basically call that a pass.
Yeah, that was a really tall pass.
It was an alley-oop, that's what we'll say.
Yeah, it was an alley-oop.
Snyder with it. Trying to work the high post with Kempler. And her trying to feed it inside to Snyder, even though she was surrounded by three defenders. We'll see another substitution for Southern Virginia with number 20, Anna Clater. Freshman from Univista. Here's Brent, kick out to the corner. Savoon grabbing at the ball.
That'll be a jump ball. As
well as Snyder. That jump ball will stay here. But good active hands defensively by both Savoon and Snyder. So now 12 seconds left on the shot clock as the Fighting Squirrels are inbounding. Another takeaway here for Weiland. Trying to advance it down the floor to Clater. Goes up strong with the right hand, no good. Rebounded by Foster, kick out to Savoon. Pass to Snyder, puts up a three, no good. Rebounded. They're gonna say it rebounded by number 15, Angel Crowder, and she ends up going out of bounds. She's trying to explain to her coach that she feels like she was fouled. And that is indeed what they will say, is that she ran out of bounds. Inbounded to Savoon.
Yeah, I think that call could have gone either way, but I think that was the right call in that situation.
Yeah, not much contact. I feel like it was more so just, Crowder losing her balance. Trying to swing it fast, and it goes behind Savoon and out of bounds.
You know, both teams are actually shooting the same percentage this game from the three-point line at 16.7%, which is very low. We were talking about that Mary Baldwin isn't even, you know, a three-point shooting team, and that's still lower than their average.
Yeah, they're averaging about 25% from the three-point line, which, like you said, isn't necessarily what you want. But right now, it feels like the rim has an extra block over top of it to prevent any of those long-distance shots from going in, except for maybe a handful from Southern Virginia. Heilig driving in. I'm going to say it went out of bounds off her leg, and it'll go to Southern Virginia. Trying to feed it inside to Foster. Good kick out, Clater for the jumper, and that's good. And again, it's plays like that where they get it down low, they quickly get it back out after they realize there's a double team and sometimes triple team down low. And Clater, the freshman, able to knock it down. Another takeaway by Snyder. Gives it to Weiland. Gets to Foster, who has it blocked. They had Weiland wide open in the paint there for a split second. Deep three for Weiland. Off the back of the rim, no good, rebounded by Brent. And with a floater, an offensive foul, great job by Weiland standing her ground. Have a substitution here for Mary Baldwin, number 3, Delaney Gardner, senior from Beverly Hills, Florida.
You know, someone that doesn't really know the sport of basketball might say, what was so important about that? She just got knocked over. No, that was great defense to be able to read it and plant your feet and draw the charge. That's really hard to do in a game situation especially.
And you know, I've had many basketball coaches throughout the years, and I've never seen a coach cheer more for any play than when their player takes a charge. They get more excited and more energetic, and they congratulate you more for that than any three-pointer, any free throw, any rebound that you'll get.
It's a hard thing to do to draw a charge.
It just takes a lot of discipline and a lot of toughness, honestly, because you have to sell it and fall on the floor. And let me tell you, folks, that's not a pleasant thing. Falling on a hardwood floor might surprise you. Not fun. Snyder gets to the corner. Weiland kicks out to Savoon. Shoots the three, no good. They're saying offensive foul on Weiland. And we'll see a substitution here. Haley Page will come in for Allie Weiland. Here's Heilig working on Foster. Whistle is blown, foul on Haley Page. They're going to say after she got tangled up with Ariana Brent that she was, I think they're going to say that she was holding. Fighting Squirrels able to inbound it. Jumper for Brent, and that one's way short. May have gotten a hand on it. Savoon, a deep three. That's short, no good. Rebounded by Heilig. That is the night's 14th three-point attempt. Foster got a hand on it, but I believe they're going to call a foul on her, and indeed they will. That'll be her second foul. We'll see Ruth Kempler subbed in, as well as Lily Kentner, making her first appearance on the floor today. Kentner, a freshman from Olathe, Kansas. So immediate timeout here with just under 5 minutes to go in this first half. I want to give a shout out to our athletic partners, our couple of local businesses here in Buena Vista, Virginia. We got River Crossing Apartments, Straws, Drinks and Eats, Mill Creek Orthodontics, Cornerstone Bank, Papa John's, locally owned and operated, Vinyl Cuts, Katana Sushi and Hibachi Express, The Beef Sweet Souvenirs, and Grace Automotive. Thank you so much for your support of Southern Virginia athletics. And again, we go back to the fact that Southern Virginia has just taken so many threes, and multiple of them now from deep range. We saw Weiland take one, then we saw Savoon take one. And I think, we've seen the past couple of games that three-point shooting has definitely improved for the Knights since their pretty abysmal start from the perimeter, to put it lightly. And we've seen a build-up with, Camila Norton having a couple threes in every game, and then Savoon. But now it just kind of feels like, hey, guys, we can hit threes. We are capable of that. But let's try for a higher percentage shot. Let's try for something that has worked in this game. And again, we go back to points in the paint. They had 8 in that first quarter. That was more, if not half their points.
Yeah, I think they're definitely getting a little frivolous with their offensive possessions. They're not really taking the opportunities that they can score the points. Even if it's just 2 instead of 3. They're trying to take that 3, and so far they're 2 for 14 from behind the arc, and it's just not working out that well.
And we'll have the first free throw here from Angel Crowder. It is up, rattles out, no good. Here's the second free throw. That is also no good, rebounded by Page. Nice, strong rebound. The Knights have numbers. Clater kicks out to Savoon. And call travel here on Kentner. Again, it's just that really subtle little hesitation step that refs are just not liking this year.
Yeah, they're really calling it, and they're really paying attention to that particular step. I think that's the second or third time we've seen it in this game where they call that.
Yeah, I believe you're right. Heilig kicking it out. Mid-range jumper up and no good. Rebounded by Brent. They're going to call foul on Brent, as she did indeed shove Savoon to try to get to that rebound. And that is the second foul on Brent.
Reese Brock checking in for Mary Baldwin.
Southern Virginia ball. Clater gets it to Savoon. And Kempler not able to get a solid shot off, and great hustle here by Page, diving on the floor for the jump ball, and it stays with the Knights, but only 5 seconds left on the shot clock. And a substitution here, Emma Camden for the Knights. She will come in for Clater. And it also just kind of feels like for Southern Virginia's offense, they feel very bunched up together. There's no space. They're not spreading it open very much, and so it makes it to where passing lanes seem they're clogged, and it just makes it to where as an offense, it's hard to operate.
Yeah, they're definitely jeopardizing themselves by just not being able to get open. They're not, like you said, it's almost like they're playing kind of almost lazy ball.
And trying to get up a shot is Page, and she gets fouled on the shot. Great awareness, because Kempler was trying to put up anything before the shot clock expired. Now Page will go to the free throw line and shoot 2.
Shooting 2.
So far, a total of 8 points has been scored in this second period.
Page looking to make it 7 for Southern Virginia. And indeed she will. We'll also see Addie Newman check in for the Knights. Second free throw is good for Page.
Addie Newman checking in for the Knights.
Newman will check in for Savoon. And Rock, we were talking about something before this game that, the first time around the Knights really dismantled the Fighting Squirrels 90-53. And we talked about the factor of, as a travelers called them, Heilig, that sometimes when you're facing off against a team that you have more depth than, or you have more skill players than, it's very easy to maybe, for lack of a better term, play down to your competition. And I think that's kind of what's happening today, where they're just not operating on the high level we've seen over the past couple weeks. I mean, they still have a 10-point lead, double-digit lead. That's nothing to, to blink at or anything. And a hard collision here, offensive foul for Haley Page.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think that's exactly what's going on. And I think this might bleed into their following games, at least for a game or two. if they continue to play like that, just almost playing down to their competition, because they are one of the better teams in the division, if not the best. You know, and if you keep trying to match your opponents that are not quite on the same caliber as you, it's gonna affect your next games.
And it's also difficult when, you know, if you're Southern Virginia, you're undefeated in conference play right now. No one's really challenged you as the top dog in the USA South this year. A takeaway here for Addie Newman. And so when that's the case, it's very easy to become complacent. We're not really sure if that's exactly the case, but Camden able to knock down the layup here on the fast break. And that's more of what we're used to seeing. Looking down the floor, seeing the open teammate, get it ahead to them and knock down the layup.
Absolutely.
Deep three for Heilig. Off the front of the rim, no good. Strong rebound by Kentner. Advancing it ahead to Kempler. Getting inside to Page. Strong catch there. They're going to call a jump ball as a quick jump ball. And that'll go to the Fighting Squirrels. It seemed like it was only maybe half a second after Page had caught the ball before they called the jump ball. And that'll be knocked out of bounds by Kentner. We'll have another substitution in Taylor Miyazaki. And she will come in for Haley Page. Miyazaki trying to communicate that to Page as Page is trying to figure out something with the ref on this near side. Good takeaway there by Kempler. She allowed for there to be a little bit of an opening underneath, but was doing a great job of getting over top. Ends up going out of bounds off the Knights. Back to the Fighting Squirrels.
You know, Kempler is really known more for her blocks, and we've seen that a couple of times in this game, but we've also seen her steal the ball a couple times, you know, and be able to read that offense and make an athletic move. And
Absolutely.
It's pretty cool.
Being able to reach around the player she's defending and, you know, either step around or maybe tease the opponent who's got the ball, trying to say, hey, I dare you to pass it in the paint. I've already got the angle to get the steal, and you're exactly right. She's been able to capitalize on that a couple of times. Brent, the mid-range jumper. That's going to be way short. No good. We've seen a couple of short shots here today. And a lot of that's been due to the tough defense from Southern Virginia. Sometimes they've been tipped. But also you could possibly credit it to the size of the gym here. You know, the size of the gym and how much space you have behind the basket definitely can disorient you as a shooter, especially if maybe you're used to a bigger venue. And Addie Newman, a great make there from the pass from Camden.
And she came into this game and started scoring and got a rebound or two. You know, she came here to play.
Yeah, Addie Newman definitely being a spark plug right now for Southern Virginia. Less than 2 minutes to go in this first half. And what is, like we've pointed out, been a very low-scoring affair. But this second quarter, the Knights have dominated, leading 12-2 in this second quarter, only allowing 2 free throws to be made. It's been pretty impressive to see that even though it's been pretty sluggish, for lack of a better term, for both squads, that Southern Virginia has been able to maintain the lead for all of this game, essentially, so far. It was only brought down to a 1-point lead early in the first quarter, but since then it's been Southern Virginia with a commanding presence throughout this first half. We'll see if they can continue that. And I would like to see Southern Virginia have a couple of basket run here to go into halftime, get a little bit of momentum, and then in the third quarter, really let the floodgates open scoring-wise.
Absolutely.
Here's Brent. And a foul is called here on Kentner as she was going for the steal. That is Kentner's first foul. So Mary Baldwin's in the bonus now. It's a double bonus, actually. So Heilig will shoot 2 free throws. First one is up and good. Mary Baldwin now 4 for 7 from the free throw line. Make that 5 for 8. Seeing some pressure applied here by Mary Baldwin. Trying to double Kentner here. Newman passes it to the corner to Kempler. we're seeing a lot more energy defensively from Mary Baldwin. Kick out to the corner. Here's Miyazaki for three. Short, no good. Eventually rebounded by Kettner. After a confusing series of events, the buzzer had went off, even though the shot had hit the rim. A missed shot there. Under a minute now. Advancing it ahead to Kempler. And gets it up and in with the foul. And a good body screen there by Addie Newman down low to pave the way for Kempler.
Oh, absolutely. That was some great communication on SVU side.
And so we'll see Kempler go to the free throw line for the and one. Kempler now with 8 points in the game. Make that 9. And like you said, it all goes down to communication and just heads up play. You know, you look up and you see your teammates got the ball and you stop just a little bit, hesitate so that your defender has to go around you and it paves the way to the basket for your teammate. It's always beautiful when that works out.
Right.
30 seconds left in the half. Brent driving in. A little bit of a Euro step floater, no good. Rebounded by Crowder. Kicks it back out. Foul on the shot. They're calling it on Addie Newman. That is her first foul of the game, and some more free throws. This time by Aketa Farait. Just waiting on Miyazaki to tie her shoes. First free throw is good. Farait now with 7 points. She leads the Fighting Squirrels in scoring so far tonight. And kind of been quiet about it too. Second free throw is up and rattles in good. So 22 seconds in the half. The Knights will look to have the final shot of the half. Good ball movement from the Knights. Ten seconds now. Passing inside to Newman, gets blocked on the shot. Brent with the rebound. They're going to call travel. But I believe that happened right as the buzzer sounded. And they're going to allow it to go to halftime with the score being 31-18 in favor of the Knights of Southern Virginia. So not quite as high scoring for Southern Virginia as we expected it going into halftime. But again, the Knights with a commanding lead so far and able to make the best out of what has been an interesting game, again, for lack of a better term. Right now leading the way in scoring is Ruth Kempler with 9 points, Asia Foster with 5, Camden with 4, and Savoon with 3. And then for Mary Baldwin, you have Brent with 7, Farait with 6, and Heilig with 5. That encompasses all of their scoring for the Fighting Squirrels in this first half.
Yeah, definitely a low-scoring half, but hopefully it'll pick up, you know, in the third and fourth quarter. We saw SVU really pick up in the last few minutes of the second period, so I think they're going to try to keep that going.
Absolutely, and with that, we will hand it off to Southern Virginia's dance team for halftime festivities. We'll be back with you when the second half action starts. Don't go away.
Then rock with it.
Please give a good round of applause for your dance team. Tonight, can I get my 4 contestants to meet me at the free throw line? Coach Stahl, I know you're one of them. Get over here. Why do you get that? Coach Stahl, Ty, the little boys. Not Ty. So it's simple. So the game's simple. Split into 2 teams. What you have to do, it's like a relay race. You gotta make a free throw, either layup, free throw, 3-pointer. First team to have both do it, win. Pretty simple. So who wants to go first? All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Come on, coach. Ooh, tough luck. Is that it? Team Pie wins! Yay!
And we're back for second half action between the Fighting Squirrels of Mary Baldwin and your Knights of Southern Virginia. The Knights dominating the first half by a score of 31-18. And Rock, you and I were talking during the break that we had failed to mention that second quarter, Southern Virginia only allowed 6 points to be scored by Mary Baldwin. So suffocating defense, even though we've mentioned that it's been kind of a sluggish game offensively for the Knights. Defensively, not really giving much of an inch at all.
Yeah, you know, we've been seeing a lot of steals. I'd like to point out Kempler because she's been blocking and stealing. She's been able to play this defense pretty well, and that's made all the difference in the world. You know, of course, you can look at that scoreboard and kind of deduce that that's the case, and, you know, that's just what's happening. SVU's got that hardcore defense tonight, and it's paying off.
It absolutely is. Before we get started with the second half, I want to once again give a shout out to our athletic partners. Some of these are local businesses here in Buena Vista, Virginia. We got River Crossing Apartments, Straws Drinks and Eats, Mill Creek Orthodontics, Cornerstone Bank, Papa John's, locally owned and operated, Vinyl Cuts, Katana and Sushi Hibachi Express, the Beef Sweet Souvenirs, and Grace Automotive. Thank you so much for your support of Southern Virginia Athletics. We appreciate your support. And, you know, we talk about these different things that are separating these two teams. Right now, Southern Virginia leading the way in rebounds, 22-17. Offensive rebounds especially leading in that category, 8-5. That was even more of a factor in the beginning of the first quarter. It just felt like every time that the Knights had missed a shot long with a three-pointer, a Knight was there to get the offensive rebound. They were hustling, getting to it, and that kind of slowly died off as the half came to a close, but was still kind of there. And then also one thing that I wanted to point out is bench points. Southern Virginia having a lot of players off the bench contributing compared to maybe previous games. They had, of course, 10 bench points compared to Mary Baldwin's 6. And then points in the paint, I've mentioned this before, Southern Virginia is at their best when they attack the rim and get the ball to the post and have those cross paint passes. They're leading in that category 14-6. We'll see the starters for Southern Virginia take the floor for this second half. And kind of like you were mentioning before the half, Rock, we expect to see Southern Virginia's offense just kind of more or less explode in the second half compared to the first because it was slow moving for a while.
Right, you know, and I think that's why we have a lot of bench points as well, you know, because those players, this might be one of the few times that they get a lot of minutes, you know, so they're going to hop in, they're going to try their best, and, you know, that's what they did, and they got a lot of points going, and I believe that's, you know, what caused that explosion, like, late in the second period, and here we go.
Speaking of explosions.
Yep, there's an explosion. You know, some momentum carried from the second period to the third quarter.
Each quarter has started the same offensively for Southern Virginia with a three-pointer. First quarter, I believe it was, and that's a three right there, that time for Keta Farrate. But the first quarter was Abby Snyder. Second quarter was Maria Savoon. And third quarter, Abby Snyder again.
I will say, with the percentages that have been going on in the first and second quarters, I'm surprised to see that both teams are still shooting three-pointers.
There's a great pass inside. Asia Foster stepped through for Weiland, up and in, and the Knights starting off strong. Like I mentioned, those floodgates opening up offensively. It's starting to happen right now. Going up strong that time is Farrate. Not able to get to fall, but a foul is called on Asia Foster. That is her third. So Foster now in a little bit of foul trouble with Cody Heilig checking in for the Fighting Squirrels.
Farrate to the line, shooting 2.
Farrate will go to the free throw line. And again, 7 quick points for Southern Virginia. Southern Virginia had 15 total points in the second quarter. More than almost half of that already in just the first minute of play here in the third quarter. First free throw is up and rattles in good. Mary Baldwin is now 8 for 11. Make that 9 for 12 from the free throw line. So that's one category that Mary Baldwin's doing a really great job at. Shooting 75% from the free throw line.
Yeah, that's almost 10% above their average of this season.
Kemple looking to feed it inside to Weiland, and it's taken away by Gilmore. kind of telegraphing that pass there a little bit, staring it down where it was easy to defend. In that situation, you got to pump fake, look away, then look back to that spot. Another three for far right. That one no good. Rebounded by Kempler. Savoon trying to advance it to Foster, but well defended. Snyder, another three. Off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Foster. Corner to Savoon for three. No good. Rebounded by Kempler. Another offensive rebound. Weiland driving in. Good feed to Foster. No look pass to the inside for two.
That's the SVU special right there.
Absolutely. Again, every time they've done it, it feels like in this game, it has paid off big time. And again, just the no-look pass. And able to find Foster now, the Fighting Squirrels with a high post. Here's Heilig for three. That's short, no good, rebounded by Kempler. Weiland stepping through, up, off the glass and in. Weiland starting off strong in this second half. Got herself an assist, up to 4 assists in this game. 5 points. Brent for three, that one's short, rebounded by Kempler. And Kempler starting off strong in the second half, rebound-wise. Kempler now with 5 rebounds in the game. Snyder trying to feed it inside to Foster, leading her a little bit too much. Taken away by Brent. Fast break opportunity here, up and in. Knights coming right back with it. Snyder, another three. That one is short. Rebounded by Kempler, trying to go up against Heilig and gets the foul. In that situation, a lot of coaches are going to want you to keep the ball high off the rebound, not necessarily bring it down, but keep it up, put it right back in the basket. But with that being said, able to draw the foul, so you're not going to complain there.
Absolutely.
Kempler's first free throw is going to rattle in, good.
And that's going to be her 10th point. Now she's leading SVU in points.
Second free throw is up and good. Brings her to 11. Just 1 point behind Aketa Faret for Mary Baldwin, who leads the way with 12. Got some substitutions for the Knights, including Haley Page and Emma Camden. Got 2 posts in the high post for Mary Baldwin, looking to set a double screen. Good roll to the basket there by Heilig. That's a really beautiful thing. You have the point guard will try to use the 2 bodies as a screen. You'll have one that leaks out for a three-pointer, another one that cuts towards the basket. Good at feed inside. Camden trying to go up strong with it again after the rebound. Jump ball, and it'll go to Mary Baldwin. So now we'll see if the Fighting Squirrels use that same offensive strategy. Again, they'll have Heilig as well as Faret here at the high post. Indeed, they will. Here's the double screen. And again, they have someone roll to the basket and come out to the top, that time well diagnosed by Southern Virginia. The Knights wanting a travel. That three from Brent, no good, rebounded by Weiland. Feeding it ahead of Savoon. Weiland driving in, feed inside to Page. Another assist for Weiland. Weiland now with 5 in the game. We have a foul down low. That is called on Haley Page. Got a media timeout and a substitution for Mary Baldwin and number 14, Gianna Gilmore. And again, the big spark plug right now has been Allie Weiland. Driving to the basket, got some great feeds. He had one to Haley Page as well as another one to Asia Foster. And you also have her getting rebounds. I mean, she's all over the place right now. It's great to see. And again, rebounding. Kempler, Page, and Foster all with 6 rebounds apiece right now. And again, those are kind of momentum plays. You know, they're ones that do show up in the stat sheet, but not ones you normally think of when you think, oh, who's a good basketball player? But they're bringing on the rebounds, giving themselves extra opportunities, and that has resulted in a third quarter that so far they already have as many points as they had in the entire second quarter.
That's just crazy. You know, and I think it's really cool because when SVU's players kind of heat up, you know, there's always that one player in every quarter that's like, they just kind of take the show away.
Yeah.
But it's never just points, you know. When it comes to SVU, when somebody heats up, they get points, they get assists, they get rebounds. They go all around it, you know, and I think that's what makes a lot of these players so effective in just about any situation. They're great utilities to have all over the court. They can do just about anything.
Right,
it's really cool to see.
This SVU team definitely prides themselves on trying to be all-around players. Both Coach Lynette and Brett Schroeder really preach that, saying, hey, you got to be effective in all aspects of the game, and they're doing so right now. 6 seconds on the shot clock, and a takeaway here for Camden. Gets it to Page. Got 2-on-1. Savoon trying to go up strong off the glass, no good, but fouled that time by Reese Brock. In that situation, you'd like to see Savoon be able to give it quickly back to Page, but you saw, I believe it was Brock, do a good job of staying with Page. So overall well defended, but end up getting the foul called and sending Savoon to the line. The first one is good.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you can play the best defense out there and there's just not a whole lot you can do, especially when your offense is, you know, really heating up, being able to score and keep that momentum going. It's hard to defend at all.
It absolutely is. Second free throw for Savoon is no good. That time it was rebounded by Gilmore. Again, we mentioned both teams shooting very well from the free throw line, both above 75%. Brock driving in, pump fake, and rejected by Haley Page. Making it look easy, swatting it out of bounds. So now 3 seconds left in the shot clock. Mary Baldwin needs a quick shot. And a substitution here for the Knights with number 20, Anna Clater. She will come in for Allie Weiland. Far right blocked by Page. Shot clock violation, not able to get a shot to hit the rim, and Page back-to-back blocks. Page looking towards the bench, just giving a thumbs up like, that was good, right? It's like, yes, that was indeed good.
That is some D1 March Madness stuff right there, you know.
You love to see a fantastic defense there from Southern Virginia, forcing the shot clock violation. Glader with it. Newman fitting it inside to Savoon, stepping through off the glass, no good, but a fantastic look in a place where you wouldn't necessarily expect to see Savoon take a shot. High leg for three. That is good. So the Fighting Squirrels getting some offensive action here. Feed inside to Savoon. Trying to feed it inside to Camden, and another takeaway from Mary Baldwin. They're calling a block on Page. I think they're going to say that her feet were just moving a little bit before she tried to take the charge. We got number 15, Angel Crowder, still on the floor for the Fighting Squirrels. And we also got a substitution for Southern Virginia, number 3, Taylor Miyazaki. We certainly hope that Angel Crowder is okay. She's being attended to right now on the left side of the floor.
Yeah, we never like to see any players get hurt, but sometimes that comes along with the competition, unfortunately. But when it does, you know, you got to respect it, respect the players.
Yeah, there was a lot of contact on that shot for Haley Page's foul, and that puts Page at 4 fouls for the game, just one away from being done. And that, again, those 4 fouls kind of signal to her aggressive defense she's had so far tonight. Again, she had back-to-back blocks in the previous possession, had a couple of rebounds and steals, and is just one of those players just all over the place. And Crowder is able to get up and walk off the floor under her own power. Glad to see that she is okay. And maybe we'll see her later on in the game once she gets her bearings. So 3 minutes and 16 seconds left in this third quarter in what has been a dominant series, at least up to this point, by Southern Virginia. We're seeing Mary Baldwin kind of come back a little bit. They're at 12 points in this quarter compared to Southern Virginia's 16. So they've been crawling back.
You know, both teams have exactly the same number of points that they did in the first quarter.
And still over 3 minutes to go. That's Brent's first free throw is good. Brent now with 8 points in the game. Second one's up and good. Here's Addie Newman at the point. We mentioned in the second quarter that Addie Newman, when she came in, provided quite a spark offensively and defensively, did a lot of great things. And also provided just a sort of energy that was lacking at the moment. Camden feeding inside to Clater. Great pass up and in for Clater. And she gets her second basket of the night.
It was a great all-around play right there. Some good ball movement, you know, some good reads, a lot of communication. That's how you get points right there.
Good kick out here. That one just a little bit far. A foul called here as Camden hits the floor. They are indeed going to call it on Gianna Gilmore, because she came rushing in there looking to get the offensive rebound, and Camden thought the ball was going to hit the rim, ended up going far. And those kind of plays are where a lot of, you know, heavy contact plays occur.
Yeah, plays like that sometimes can even end up in surgeries, you know, torn menisci or, you know, ACL tears. Those are scary.
Three-point shot for Kempler, just a little bit short. But you're absolutely right, Rock, and it's a great thing that no one was hurt on that play. Heilig driving inside, good kick out here to far 8. Jump shot, no good, rebounded by Kempler. Kempler now with 5 rebounds, fed inside to Clater. Good feed inside to Newman, off the glass and in. The Knights' passing in this third quarter has just been very fantastic compared to the first half.
Yeah, a lot of ball movement for sure.
And able to see players cutting to the basket, able to make the accurate passes. It's been a passing clinic. Ten seconds on the shot clock. Far right, looking at a shot off. She's going to be fouled on the way to the basket. They're going to call it on Clater. She did grab her arm a little bit. We're going to see a substitution of number 12, Lenadia Tarpley. She will come in for Aketa Farate. First free throw rattles in good. You know, one thing that's been really great to see as well is that Mary Baldwin, they've struggled this year. 2-16 record, 1-10 in conference. They're currently on an 11-game losing streak, but there's been a lot of fight in them today. They've, there's been some plays just haven't really gone their way. They've had a lot of shots blocked and some shots fall short. But there has not been a lack of effort for DeErnest McLemore's squad. Coach McLemore in his first season at Mary Baldwin. And again, when you take over a program like that, in your first year, there's going to be some growing pains, and they've definitely had that so far this year. But again, lack of effort has not been a problem. Newman for 3. That time good.
Yeah, it's definitely part of a new program, right? Like, you're just probably not going to do great your first year. But when you do bring the competition anyway, whether or not you're going to lose, it's always nice to see. You never like to see people dogging it out there on the court or something.
Miyazaki for 3. She jumps before the shot, but they're going to call travel on her as she hopped after getting the ball. It has been interesting because we see a similarity between the shooting form of Taylor Miyazaki as well as Cody Heilig. They both have a little bit of a hop before they shoot in order to set their feet. Heilig has been able to get have the jump before she gets the ball, so therefore is not called for the travel. Heilig going up against Camden is fouled on the way up. And so Heilig will go to the free throw line and shoot 2. Camden, that is her second foul.
Emma, once they pass it out of that, then just switch back. I'll move down, and then you go back up top, okay? You just got to communicate that.
Heilig so far with 11 points. First free throw is good, make that 12. Second free throw, no good, rebounded by Miyazaki. 24 seconds left in the third quarter. And a great tip there by Brent. Breakaway layup, up the left hand and good. 12 seconds left in the quarter. Kempler pump fake, driving in, up the right hand off the glass, no good. Rebounded by Mary Baldwin, and that is how the quarter will end. The Knights still leading with the score 54-37. The Knights scoring 23 points in that third quarter compared to Mary Baldwin's 19. And so both teams just doing a significantly better job scoring the ball. And I mean, you look at Mary Baldwin's second quarter of 6 points and their third quarter of 19, it's a crazy comparison.
Oh, absolutely. You know, they scored more in this quarter than they did in the first half, which I don't know if I've ever seen that before, to be honest. It's really interesting to see, though.
I mean, you look at improvement from the first half in the dictionary, that's where you're going to see it right there. I mean,
no kidding.
You can't get much better than that. And so, again, really hard-fought game so far. Again, leading the way. Kempler still leading the Knights with 11 points, Foster with 9, Newman with 7, and Snyder with 6. We haven't seen Abby Snyder on the floor in a while. Again, in the third quarter, electing to play a lot of their players that come in for their starters. And that's another advantage of games like this where you have the lead, a significant lead. You can have the chance to, rest some players, get some other players playing time. We've seen the Knights be able to do that over the past couple of weeks. But the Knights will put in most of their starters to start the fourth quarter, except for one player. They leave Ruth Kempler on the bench in favor of Camila Norton. We haven't seen Norton on the floor too much in this game, but she's another one of those players that can let it loose from 3. Feeding it inside to Weiland. Stepping through with the right hand off the glass and rattles in with the foul. What a bounce for Weiland. Heilig trying to plead her case, because that is Heilig's 4th foul.
I don't know. We might see that on ESPN later.
I mean, when she put it up, it looked like it was going to be wide to the right. It was a little high on the backboard and somehow found its way in the basket. And so Weiland now with 7 points in the game. I think the ref was talking to Weiland about maybe a earpiece piercing that she has. And the free throw is good for Weiland. Now with 8 points. Brent with it. Snyder able to get her hand on that one. Wisely pulls out. As she was 1v3. Trying to feed inside to Foster, up and in. Foster having a great night, being on the receiving end of some of the best passes on the floor tonight.
That's the kind of basketball that's just fun to watch. Nobody can argue that.
Far right working against Weiland, up strong and gets fouled on the shot. Indeed, Weiland will be called for the foul. That is her second, and Far right will shoot 2 free throws. Far right now with 14 points in the game. leading both teams in that category. First free throw rattles in, good. Far right also has 2 rebounds as well as 2 assists. This is just one of the constants that we talked about at the beginning of this game. One of the players that they go through for all their offensive action. That one rattles out, no good. Rebounded by Snyder. Norton for 3. And that's good. Again, we've talked about our 3-point efficiency on full display there. And blocked by Foster initially, but now they're going to call a foul here on Foster. It almost looked like for a second that they were going to let it go, but they decided last second to call it a foul, and that is the 4th foul called on Foster. First free throw is no good for Crowder. So now as far as fouls is concerned, you have Foster with 4 as well as Haley Page with 4. Fortunately for them, Kempler has no fouls. Second free throw for Crowder is good. Good feed inside by Weiland to Foster, and she immediately gets clobbered by 2 defenders because they knew exactly what was going to happen next. The foul is called on Lenadia Tarpley. They're going to say it was a foul on the floor, but it'll stay with the Knights. Good feed inside to Weiland, trying to go up strong with the shot. And a foul. That time on far right. And Weiland will shoot 2.
Weiland to the line, shooting 2.
You know, she's been to the line a few times in this second half, you know, just because she drives in so much. Helps the offense a lot.
Oh, it absolutely does, because again, it's a big fundamental where you drive into the paint, you drive right in, you kick it out, or feed it to someone like Foster, who's gotten a couple of great passes here tonight. Second free throw, no good. Rebounded by Snyder, going up strong with it, and good. Savoon trying to sneak in there for a steal. It does stay with Mary Baldwin. This is Gilmore trying to back down Foster. Good kick out to Brent. Step back and swatted by Weiland. What they call a travel there. And so it'll go back to Southern Virginia. Again, just some great defense from the Knights. Trying to feed it inside to Savoon, who kicks it out to Norton for 3. And that's good. Like we talked about before, this fourth quarter, floodgates starting to open.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And when she's behind the arc, it's kind of scary because I believe she's second or third on SVU's squad for 3-pointers. She's super reliable from behind the arc.
Brent able to knock down that floater. And like I said, super reliable from 3. In fact, the vast majority of her shots this season have come from behind the arc. Weiland nearly losing control of that one.
Little magic trick right there.
Good feed to Foster once again. Gets fouled on the shot and will go to the free throw line.
Good offense.
That foul is called on Tarpley. That's Tarpley's second and a whole platoon swap for Southern Virginia. We got Addie Newman, Taylor Miyazaki, Emma Camden, and Lily Kentner coming in. And we'll have Haley Page will come in for Asia Foster. And for Mary Baldwin, you have Cody Heilig taking the floor once again, as well as Reese Brock, along with number 12, Lenadia Tarpley. who actually just committed the foul. The first free throw is good for Foster. So not only 2 substitutions for the Fighting Squirrels this time around. Second free throw for Foster is good. We'll see Page come in for her. And again, mention how both Foster and Page have 4 fouls apiece. But with a margin like it is right now, you're not necessarily too worried about foul trouble. If one foul's out, you still got another one. Then you also still have Kempler, who has no fouls.
You know, with the last time these teams played each other, and we talked a little bit about the game before the game, and SVU is pretty close to hit 90 again. Do you think they'll get to it, Dawson?
I think they'll get close. I'll stick to what I said before the game. I think they'll get close. 3-pointer from Heilig, no good off the back of the rim, rebounded by Kentner. But they definitely can. If they push the envelope and they keep this fast pace going, keep shooting as well as they have been, I think there's definitely potential. Miyazaki for 3. Off the back of the rim, no good. Camden with the rebound, feeding it down low to Kentner. Floater up and good. I mean, if they keep playing like that.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that.
And 90's not too far out of reach with plays like that. Got a timeout called by DeErnest McLemore for Mary Baldwin. 6 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in this one. The Knights with a commanding 31-point lead, 72-41. Want to once again give a shout out to our athletic partners, local businesses here in Buena Vista, Virginia. River Crossing Apartments, Straws Drinks and Eats, Mill Creek Orthodontics, Cornerstone Bank, Papa John's, locally owned and operated, Vinyl Cuts, Katana Sushi and Hibachi Express, The Beef, Sweet Souvenirs, and Grace Automotive. Thank you so much for your support of Knights Athletics. And also want to remind you, you're watching this on Knight Broadcasting here on YouTube. Be sure to give us a like, subscribe, comment down below your highlight of the game so far and how we can improve this viewing presentation of Southern Virginia Athletics. Thank you so much for your support of Knight Broadcasting. And when the Knights are on a 8-game winning streak like this, and I mean, assuming going to make that 9 in a row now, that's so much confidence being built up in that locker room and every week in practice. And one of those things that as you go closer to conference tournament play, one of the things that's kind of hard is to maintain the balance between confidence and understanding that any given day, you know, in college basketball, we just know it, any given day. And college football, it's any given Saturday. College basketball, it's any given day. Something can happen. So you got to always maintain, you know, that level of focus that they have had for this 9-game stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you just got to be able to use that momentum and just run along with it.
Fighting Squirrels with the ball now after the timeout. Feed down low to Heilig. No good. Knocked out of Page's hand. Heilig driving in once again. That time rebounded by Miyazaki. Advance ahead to Camden. Kick to the corner to Kentner. And it's no good. They're going to call travel here on Kentner. And again, it's another one of those where there's a jump stop. And it looked to me, with the angle that I had, which granted wasn't a great one, it looks like a good jump stop and release, but.
Yeah, definitely an arguable call, and we've seen a few of those, you know, where it could kind of go either way. You know, but at the end of the day, it's what the ref says. That's what it is.
Heilig driving in. And taken away by Miyazaki. Great defense there from Addie Newman, just standing her ground. Feed inside to Kentner. And it was a good pass ahead, but just a little in front of Kentner trying to recover. So another turnover and a substitution for Mary Baldwin, number 14, Gianna Gilmore. Here's Ariana Brent. Brent with 13 points in the game. Again, going back to that 2-screen set they have here. Heilig driving in on Page, and Page with another block. That is Page's 3rd block of the game. We got another timeout here with just under 5 minutes to go in this one. So again, Haley Page being a great defensive presence, especially in this second half. If I'm not mistaken, all 3 of these blocks have come in the second half.
I believe so.
Also another block from Ruth Kempler that was a lot earlier in the game, then one from far right and one from Tarpley for Mary Baldwin.
Definitely a lot of strong defense, and then from both teams we've seen a countless number of steals, you know, just kind of going back and forth. Regardless, you know, they average 9 or 8 or 9 steals, you know, per game, but I feel like we're seeing an unusually high number of steals as well.
Right, absolutely. And just looking ahead on the schedule for Southern Virginia, after this you have on January 27th, they go up against Brevard College, who they've already played before and won by, I believe, about 25 points, able to dominate that game. And then after that, they have the first matchup, January 30th, with Greensboro College. Greensboro, always a very competitive program in the USA South. And they're going to play them again February 17th. So pretty close together since they were saved for so late in the schedule. Nice inbound pass to Heilig here. They were originally going to let it go, but they're calling another foul here. And that is on Haley Page, and that is her 5th.
Foul called on Haley Page, her 5th.
That's the second time where she has had what looked like a block, and they waited a little bit to blow the whistle. Just a slight hesitation that makes it just a little frustrating for fans.
Yeah.
We got Anna Clater coming in to fill Haley Page's spot. Heilig's free throw is good. Second free throw up and good. Heilig now with 14 points in the game. Knight's able to break the full court pressure. Miyazaki for 3. In and out, and rebounded by Gilmore, but a great shot there by Miyazaki. Good cut inside by Gilmore. Baseline jumper for Heilig, no good. Knocked out of bounds by Miyazaki.
9 seconds, let's go, Diop.
You know, the energy that SVU brought into the second half, we're seeing that's maintained over here in the 4th quarter.
Heilig up with the left hand and good. And you're absolutely right. You know, I think the best word we can think of to describe the first half for both teams was sluggish. Second half has not been nearly as much travel there for Camden, trying to find someone to pass the ball to. And got a substitution here. It's number 20, Keita Farate. And got a bunch of substitutions for the Knights. Seeing the floor for the first time tonight is Regina Woodley, number 22, as well as number 33, Madison Staples, and number 12, you have Cassie Okonkwo. And then Presley Heggie will come back onto the floor for the first time in a while. She had some time in the second quarter, but was pretty limited. All right, fouled by Clater.
Got a little tangled up there.
Indeed, nearly tripping over each other, so
Foul on Anna Clater.
as far right will go to the free throw line.
Straight to the line, shooting 2.
First free throw is good. Coach Lynette Schroeder trying to talk to the ref here on the near side, because there have been a couple of shooting fouls down low where players have their hands straight up.
No, you gotta be able to talk to me. I'm just trying to get clarification. You don't even
And Woodley with the rebound. Advancing ahead to Woodley. Good ball movement here. Stables kicks it out to Heggie. Here's Woodley. That three-pointer no good. Brought down by Clater. Gonna call a foul here on Anna Clater. Let's see, Farate trying to go for that ball, and she will go to the free throw line once again, thanks to the double bonus.
Foul called on Anna Clater, her third.
A little bit of physicality building up here in the fourth quarter.
Jalen Henry to the line.
And actually, it's going to send number 10, Jalen Henry, freshman from Front Royal, Virginia, to the free throw line. First free throw rattles in, good.
That high free throw percentage is going to keep building up, it looks like.
Second free throw's up and good. And like you said about the physicality, you know, along with that has also come a increase in foul calls in this second half. Woodley trying to kick it out to Clater, a little bit too far back. And you know, it's like whenever I talk to my wife about basketball, she always talks about the last 5 minutes on a game clock in basketball ends up being about half an hour. And that's a very, very true statement, especially in close contests. Got a timeout called by Mary Baldwin with just 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in this one.
Yeah, sometimes I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of it at the end of this game, but sometimes it can get pretty tedious with the intentional fouls.
Right.
You know, and I think that's why it seems like not even like the last 5 minutes, more like the last 10 seconds that lasts about half an hour.
Yeah. That is a very good point. And then, of course, with the big games in March Madness, you account for advertisements as well as, you know, media timeouts and everything like that. It makes games last a long time, which as a fan of basketball, I don't necessarily mind.
Yeah.
But if someone's not necessarily a fan and they're waiting for, let's say, CSI Miami or something like that,
Yeah.
maybe they're not as into that. All right, we got Ferrate with the ball, working against Clater. Ferrate for the three. That one's way short. Looked like she kind of tried to recover the ball as she shot and maybe slipped a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of an off-balance shot for sure.
Staples working against Ferrate. Here's Woodley for a deep shot. That one no good, rebounded by Staples. And the shot clock restarts. Heggie kicks out to Okonkwo. Shot clock winding down. Clater for three. Off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Gilmore. For 8 for three. That one good. Making up for the air ball the previous possession.
For three.
Staples driving in, pass to Woodley, and that is good. The senior from Conway, North Carolina, gets her first basket of the night. We got another timeout here for Mary Baldwin. Actually going to have a substitution here.
Jocelyn Stewart checking in for the Knights.
You have Jocelyn Stewart subbing in for Southern Virginia, and for Mary Baldwin, you have come back onto the floor Lenadia Tarpley, and seeing the floor for the first time tonight, actually in a while, one of the starters actually, was Delaney Gardner. We hadn't seen her in a while. Here's Okonkwo with a steal. Going up, no good. And taken away by Heggie and fouled hard on the shot.
Yeah, and there's that physicality we were talking about just not too long ago.
Heggie kind of looking toward the bench, kind of surprised at the physicality of that shot. She thought she had a wide open layup there. First free throw is no good. Second free throw is up and good.
One needs to stay high, one stay low.
And a foul there as we see Reese Brock hit the floor. We got a timeout called by Southern Virginia head coach Lynette Schroeder. And I'm just looking at the stat sheet for Southern Virginia. I believe there's 13 players have scored for tonight for Southern Virginia. 13 players getting involved on the offensive side of the floor. And then you look at Mary Baldwin, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, that's kind of what we expected to see. We talked about a lot of offense going through 4 specific players from Mary Baldwin, and then Southern Virginia being able to spread it around and get a lot of people involved.
Yeah, I mean, even for Mary Baldwin, 8 players scoring, that's still twice as many as we thought were really going to be carrying the team. So on both sides, you're seeing a lot of gameplay from each player and them really just showing up and doing their job, which is that's what makes a great game, is when players show up and do their job. It's fantastic.
In fact, that is one of the most repeated words by a head coach you will ever hear is do your job. Second free throw is good for Brock. I can recall many a game where, the only thing that a coach will say to you the entire time is, hey, do your job, do your job. That's the only thing they will say to you. Heggie for 3. And that's good. Just under a minute to go in this one. About 21 seconds between the shot and game clock. Gilmore the fade. No good. Staples. And no shot clock. The Knights can just simply ride it out unless they want to get another player a shot in this game. Stewart the shot. That one long. And that's going to go out of bounds. Jocelyn's teammates on the bench yelling at her to shoot it, trying to get her some points, and she was kind of surprised by that, had to put up a shot.
Had a backwards effect, I think.
And Madison Staples with the block at the three-point line. The ball goes out of bounds with 1/10 of a second left. And so essentially just inbound it, touch it, and the game will be over. And that's exactly how it will go. The final score being 78-53 in favor of Southern Virginia. And so again, a game where Southern Virginia, it was never really in doubt the entire game. They got the lead early, maintained the lead. It got a little bit close in the first quarter, but really didn't go back since that point. The Knights scoring 23 points in both the third and fourth quarter and doing a great job of taking care of business after things started a bit rough for them, able to come through with another conference win.
Absolutely. In the second half, we saw both teams really kind of pick up the intensity. It was really more the end of the second quarter. But hopefully these teams will be able to take that energy, especially with Mary Baldwin being a new program, and take that into following games up to the end of the season. Because if they keep doing that, they definitely are going to see a lot more wins. But like I said, it's like you said earlier too, it's just growing pains, right? They're going to get a lot better, and I think they're going to get a lot better a lot quicker too. But otherwise, yeah, this game was a great game, and it really picked up, and it's fantastic. It was good to watch.
Absolutely, and with that, the Knights continue their winning streak now at 9 games in a row, most of those being dominant performances of winning by over 25 points or more. They move on to 11-0 in conference play, 13-4 overall record. And for Mary Baldwin, they fall to 2-17, 1-11 in conference, and their losing streak continues now at 12 games. But with that, we appreciate you guys watching alongside us for this competition between the Fighting Squirrels of Mary Baldwin and your Knights of Southern Virginia University. Once again, I'm Dawson Weidrich. This has been Rock Giles. We appreciate your support of Knights Broadcasting. Have a great night, and go Knights.